We have brother Dougie Mac. How you doing, Dougie? Brother Dougie.
I'm fine right now, man.
Yeah, you come to Jamaica. Oh, Mr. Mike Henry, is he on the line? All right, we're going. Dougie can stay a little longer, so I'm just going to introduce him and find out what he's here about, and then we link with Mike Henry. This will be interesting to you also, Dougie. You are here for a public function at the Institute of Jamaica pertaining to the Mystic Revelation, the Count as a band.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Sunday.
Yeah.
This Sunday here.
Yeah, what they want you to do, because you are very important in the Warwick Hill area, the Rastafari movement, the music of Jamaica.
Well, I was born in that area.
Yeah.
I was born in the Rockfort, born and raised in the Rockfort area.
Yes.
So I know like everything from the start because I born 1934.
Yes.
So everything that happened between that time and 1960s, I was aware of it.
Yeah.
And the Rastafarian movement in Rockfort,
Yeah.
well, all the Rastafarian movement really start out of Marcus Garvey philosophy. And when Emperor Haile Selassie was coronated in 1930.
But may I say this? Groundation. There's a series of events that the Institute of Jamaica and the Music Museum.
No, that's the music with the drums.
Yes, yes.
Then Count Ozzy and we get together
Yeah.
to develop that music to a point that it is Rastafarian representation. We put it forward to the people.
So what the Institute is doing Sunday?
Well, Sunday, we're going to have a number of people speaking. And we're going to highlight the difference of the living in Rockfort from all the 1930s till now. For Rockfort is one of the unique spots and community of Jamaica that Jamaica never have anything like that again. For instance, the Rockfort where I growing up,
Yeah.
you had every sport facility on a wide margin.
Yes.
Lucas, Kensington, Wembley, the police, sports ground, Doncaster, that had YMCA, soccer team, and you had Beaumont Gardens where you have diving, international swimming, international diving,
Cross the
harbour race.
Yeah.
So that the young people of Jamaica today don't have that facility. They're not bringing like what we
I
have.
want to say one thing. Talking about young people. 1960. I started getting in trouble at school. No, I started getting in trouble before that, you know. But 1960, I started getting in trouble at school because I beat my drum on my desk. And we are chant something. That time I 12 years old, you know. Me and some other youth. But I go and play it to you because you are associated with this. Drop on the music, the family, and look more tell them about this music. We're going to introduce Mr. Mike Henry, Member of Parliament, and one of the few members of Parliament interested in reparation. Morning, Mr. Mike Henry.
Morning, Jerry.
How are you doing? Welcome to the program, sir.
All right, you know I'm not in Jamaica, right?
No, I didn't know. Where are you? You have
I'm in the Bahamas.
Oh, I thought you had repatriated. Because Mr. Mike Henry is both African and Jewish, you know. Yes, Mr. Henry, welcome to the program.
Thank you very much.
Now, you are the one inside of the Parliament and the politics of Jamaica who has most agitated the question of reparation. And I know that you must have recognized that piece of music. Did you hear a piece of music playing a while ago?
Yeah.
Yes, and I know that you must know. Do you know Brother Douglas Mack, Dougie Mack?
Yes, uh-huh.
Yes, say hello to Mike Henry there, Dougie.
Hello, Dougie. How are
Peace
you?
and love, my brother. We're
Peace
on the
and love.
program. We're on the program. But
Alright, sure.
it's Sunday. Sunday we're going to have an extension of all this.
Okay. Brother, Mr. Mike Henry, it was gratifying. For some years now, you've been vocalizing about the reparation. And although some people complain that when you were in government recently, they were looking for more results. But recently, last year, we heard the Prime Minister say, in the atmosphere of inviting the grandson of the Queen here and all that kind of thing,
Yes.
distancing ourselves from reparation and saying as a matter of action, business with reparation. Isn't it shocking?
It's very shocking to me, and I'm waiting on a clarification. And to defend myself, when I brought this motion earlier, the same decision that this government is trying to push was the one that the government I was a part of, or the opposition, pushed, which was to have a a committee set up to go across the island, where I therefore rested my position awaiting that report. The report never came. It still hasn't come to me. Dr. Chavans died in the post. It wasn't properly funded by the then government. I'm not sure if it's going to be funded and what we're going around the island for. So I had to remain silent while we waited that report.
May I say this here?
And I'm being faced in that position again.
May I say this here now? I noticed that in the last offering that you made in the parliament, you pointed out that instead of running down the IMF to get more money, the proceeds of reparation could address the foundations of some endeavors and enterprises that could pull Jamaica out of the economic crisis. Also, you said you also said it could facilitate the acquisition of land that every Jamaican, every human being has a right to in the place that they are born.
That's correct. And the basic point here is if one doesn't like the more and more, Jerry, I look at this matter, the word reparation seems to create, even with the intellectuals, a problem. And some of them with their legal mind prepared to look at the damages and justice for the persons. The basic point is that, as you rightly have pointed out, which I'm pointing out, I'm merely demanding in a narrow point right now that the slaves be paid the same amount that the slave owners were paid and carried out by an act of British Parliament. And I'm asking my own Parliament to take an act that we are entitled to make that claim, and we should proceed with it.
Now, before the break and after the break, I'm going to introduce I'm going to bring in Brother Dougie Mack into the reason. But right now, have you taken note that a few weeks after the Prime Minister distanced herself from reparation, Lisa Hanna, the Minister, resurrected the reparation committee?
I have noted very seriously all of these issues. As I tried painfully and painless for my own self, hopefully, we should have tried to make this political, and I'm very shocked at some of the stance being taken now against the background of what is that must be dealt with by Great Britain.
The first major assault on the human rights and the civil rights of the people of Jamaica was carried out by the Bustamante government and Coral Garden.
Correct.
I know that you are acquainted with that. And,
Correct, yes.
And my guest here now, I'll soon let him go in a minute, was one of the people who took up this issue and took it to the United Nations. Himself and two other brothers went to the United Nations with this, and no matter what, they went to the Emperor of Ethiopia with it. But I think you will agree that not only slavery, but the people who suffered, the thousands of people who suffered in that assault on the people of Jamaica's rights, the first one after independence, within 8 months of independence, has to be addressed in the same vein as the reparation about the African colonial, the rape of Africa. What do you think?
That's perfect.
What do you say about Coral Gardens in this 50th anniversary?
That was perfectly correct. I've apologized when I was chairman of the Jamaica Labour Party and as Mike Henry, a deputy leader. I apologized from a public platform. I have said that the matter should be corrected. I've said the government should compensate and, if necessary, be taken to the court for it overall, because it was an abuse of human rights. Just as I believe that the fight for reparations, if it was to help the plantocrats and the entrenched elements of the country, which it will ultimately by what we reclaim, but since it's not in a direct benefit, it faces all these fights that we have.
May I invite Brother Dougie Mack to make a comment, because he's one of the earliest people who took up this thing here. Brother Dougie.
And I will take it to Parliament and ask for it too.
Yes, sir. I'm going to invite Brother Dougie Mack to recount some of the steps that he had to take. Please, Dougie.
Well, in 1963, when that thing occurred, Brother Phil and myself went down to Montego Bay.
Philomore Alvaranga.
Brother Phil. As a matter of fact, we went to the Prime Minister, Alexander Bustamante, with it. And during the course of the reasoning, I told the Honorable Prime Minister that we want to get to the bottom of how Coral Garden and all that thing started, because a lot of the Rastas that got hurt and killed, I hear that them was on that piece of land for a long time, but we didn't have no facts. So we told the Prime Minister that we're going down there. And him say him not advising us to go. And I said, why? Him say, well,
by the way, Mr. Henry,
protection.
are you hearing Brother Dougie? Mr. Henry?
Yes, I'm hearing. Yeah,
You're hearing him?
I'm hearing him.
Yes, okay, go ahead.
The Prime Minister said him couldn't guarantee our safety. And I said to him, Honorable Prime Minister, you're the Prime Minister of Jamaica, and you can't guarantee citizenship. You can't guarantee safety for a citizen traveling in the country when born and growing up. I said, well, without your guarantee, me and Brother Phil going down there. So we went down there and we investigated and we took up a petition down there as signatures. And eventually me and Brother Phil took that petition to the United Nations. We got an interview with Dr. Mushin Ling and another deputy, because the leader of the United Nations at the time was not in the seat. He was
Secretary
abroad.
General.
Yeah, that Secretary General. He was abroad attending to another petition business.
Well, I have to go cut here a little because Mr. Henry has to go in a certain time. But Mr. Henry, you will realize that Brother Dougie and these brothers have been on this case for so long. And unfortunately, Brother Dougie is still around and still in good health. And as he was saying to me earlier, and as I know, governments alone are not going to fulfill these requirements of the Jamaican people. It's the Jamaican people have to take action and force these government things.
We can send in petition, man.
Undoubtedly, the
Yes?
people have to begin to act. I am trying to do what I can from what is the ultimate body of the people. And I equally maintain that this is the kind of thing that that should be taken up by a legal body and have the government pay for and settle overall. Because it all relates to the fact that, of course, if we would put our Afrocentricity in its rightful position, we would be able to deal with all these issues.
But may I say this, Mr. Henry? There's a danger that even if reparation is secured, and many nations and many peoples, including the native, the First Nations of Canada and the United States, the Japanese citizens of Canada and of the United States, and many other nations and groups of people in recent time and presently are enjoying the delivery of reparations all over the world. And people don't know this. It is happening right now all over the world. But there's a danger that any such reparation, the politicians of Jamaica are going to take control of it and put it to their own use, just like how they borrow money in our name and put it to their use.
Well, to me, that doesn't speak to the body of politicians growing equally. You have a government of Jamaica. I say make it to the government of Jamaica. You put in governments and you replace governments. Perhaps what we need to look is governance now that breaks it down from the total two-party system to where individuals have a stronger voice.
When you say, hold on, Mr. Henry. When you say individual, do you mean individual members of parliament or individual citizens of Jamaica?
Well, it's a combination. If, as I witnessed, a number of people didn't vote against the amendment, it means there are independent voices within themselves who know what is right and what is wrong, and who therefore must begin to act. If they can't break the chain of the political dominance of the country by a two-party structure, and when it comes to a conscience issue, you're not free to speak to it, then something is fundamentally wrong with our parliamentary structure.
Hold on, Mr. Henry. I hear you saying this, but I don't know that you make it a primary policy decision of the Jamaica Labour Party that this is an African people and this is one of the most urgent things that the political party must address on an ongoing basis. I don't hear you.
I think if you don't hear me and I'm merely sort of insinuating some of it, then hear me clearly. Right? I have said the act by the Jamaica Labour Party government against the Rastafari Coral Gardens. I can only apologize to the party, and you have to sue the party too. Then you do
No,
that.
no.
Okay?
You're missing the point. You're
Let me
missing.
finish. Let me
What? No,
finish,
you're
Jerry.
missing the
Let me
point
finish.
completely, Mr. Henry. You're missing the
All right,
point
what
completely.
is the point?
The point is that I don't hear or see this being taken up as a central issue inside of the Jamaica Labour Party. I only hear you talking publicly about it and making a name for yourself.
But then, Jerry, that you'd be ignoring the party structure. My position has always been that where the issue becomes a principal issue that I believe in, I fight for it regardless of what the totality of the party is saying, just as I have done in actions throughout my structure in the party.
Throughout your structure in the party. Hold on. When you say throughout your structure in the party, what do you mean?
The structure of the party is that you can challenge for leadership. You have a conference. You put a platform. The platform gets defeated because you are defeated, but you continue to hold to your principles.
Yeah, but anyway, I am not convinced. You see, I am not convinced that this is any central debate inside of the JLP, nor inside of the PNP about the redress of the situation for the people of Jamaica, including the land rights that I hear you talk about. I don't hear you.
I would agree with you, but then, Jerry, you have to make us have a full discussion on this.
All right,
you have to look at the Constitution. You have to look at the Constitution of Jamaica, and the Constitution of Jamaica followed the Constitution of the two political parties, which have entrenched their position in the structure.
Yeah. Anyway, brother Dougie Mac has something.
Reparation override a constitution of a country. That is only a part of it. And when
allow him to speak, please.
And when you're looking at an individual part of Jamaica, like where that thing occurred in Montego Bay, reparation go way beyond that, from slavery time. You see, so Coral Garden is only a little part of what all the reparation would be about. Compensation for the abuse of the slavery system, and that brings us into Jamaica. So all that can just be a part of it, but we can't go to the United Nations about Coral Garden as an individual thing, because that's what's going on in Jamaica. Long time.
I want to bring something. Hold on. I want to bring something to your attention, Mr. Henry. I never heard the regime of slavery that was maintained in West Kingston for over 50 years. I never heard you bringing up this inside the Jamaica Labour Party or in the Republic of Jamaica, the regime of slavery.
But you're not a member of the party to know what this total thought of, Jerry. But the basic point, let me get back, because
no, I don't want you to get back. I want you to talk about the regime of slavery. Listen, the regime of slavery that was maintained in West Kingston for over 50 years. That's what I want to talk about.
But the slavery that you're referring to was not chattel slavery.
What kind of slavery
because
it was?
That is part of what creates the problem.
No, what kind of slavery it was in West Kingston? What kind of slavery it was?
That was an economic slavery as it exists throughout the whole of Jamaica.
No, hold on, Mr. Henry. Please don't try overpower us with a long-winded thing.
Jerry.
Yes, hear me now. No, I'm talking about West Kingston. I am talking about.
But you see, Jerry, you must be fair to me here. West Kingston already carries with the word West Kingston carries a taint of one political party or the next.
No, you're playing a game. You're trying. No, Mr. Henry, you're playing a game, Mr. Henry. Mr. Henry, listen here now. Hold on. You're trying to talk me out. And please, stop now.
Jerry,
no, you're you're trying to stop me from talk right now.
No,
please. You're trying to stop me from talk right now. And I'm saying that the regime of slavery that exists in West Kingston for over 50 years, you are saying that we don't hear what you are talking about inside the party. You have not exposed this thing either inside the party or outside the party.
But you see, you have used the term slavery in what I consider a misplaced position. And that is partly what has created some of the problems why we can't get reparations as it is. because you have to separate slavery as a form of life, has existed for a very, very, very long time in many forms.
Hold on there. No, when in a constituency.
Those forms of slavery
Hear me now, Mr. Henry. Hear me now, Mr. Henry. In a constituency like West Kingston, where for over 50 years, people were not allowed to walk freely in there and to campaign freely. Therefore, there could be no contest of the political power in there. It's a form of slavery that lead to a form of gang slavery, including guns, drugs, and the enslavement and the punishment and the execution of people in there for over a 50-year period.
All right, so that is a position. Just as I would maintain that the undercounting of your population leaves 1 million people out of your plans.
Mr. Henry, you're doing your best not to address the regime of slavery that exists in West Kingston for over 50 years. But thank you very much for having been here.
Well, as again, I hope we don't take it from any political